Mr. Coffeezilla. Why am I low-key nervous, bro?
They have made millions and millions of euros. I'm going to be delivering.
I have nothing to hide.
To these motherfuckers.
I get told that they had posted flyers everywhere in my city. And I mean everywhere. High schools, malls.
They need to go in, even if there's a security guard, even if they're gonna be taken away. If somebody goes home walking, they will be fired.
They sent 18 people outside my door having a quote-unquote protest.
We are having war with other sites as well. Most of the CSGO gambling sites are scams.
I want to know who's really behind this thing. Who's really the victims and who's really the villain.
Here we go.
In our last video, we got bribed, but instead of taking it, we exposed the people who offered it. Now it's time to expose the rest of the Counter-Strike gambling industry and the influencers who promote it for millions a year. Let's start with the basics of what Counter-Strike gambling really is, though. Counter-Strike is a first-person shooter video game where you can buy cosmetic options for your guns called skins. You can get these by paying $2.50 to open a loot box. It spins like a slot machine, and you get a random skin. There's an entire economy that's grown out of their rarity, and you can sell these skins for pennies or up to tens of thousands of dollars depending on their rarity. You can then take those skins to Counter-Strike casinos where they will...
It's kind of silent, no? Wait. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm in the mood for this right now. Oh, God. It's first of 2025. Why are we not doing something fun? I'm watching my favorite game get, as well, people that I know, getting exposed, or how do you want to call it? I'm going to keep everything real. I have nothing to hide. Scheiße, oh man, I just want to enjoy first of 2025.
Be accepted as currency instead of cash. They use their real-world value to turn this video game into Vegas. You can play slots, roulette, and more, all with a video game skin. Think of it like their version of poker chips. And when I first began to investigate this, I thought, why don't people just use a regular casino? You know, why use Counter-Strike skins for this? Well, I decided to investigate by interviewing a bunch of people who do use Counter-Strike casinos, and I found a disturbing trend.
I've been in the gambling community in Counter-Strike for about, I'd say since 12 years old.
I started gambling on Counter-Strike when I was probably 13 years old.
13 years old. 14 years old.
I think I was 14. Started gambling on CSGO at the age of 12 and 13, pretty much right around there, my 13th birthday.
Yeah, most of the people I spoke to started gambling underage, and it was while they were playing the game. And this trend continues beyond the anecdotal. This YouTuber named Jeff surveyed over 9,000 players, and he found that around 70% of Counter-Strike gamblers start
When did I start? I started CS in 2014, late 2014. Now I'm 26, so 10 years ago, 16. 16, I think I busted open my first case. And if you remember as well, CSGO double as well, but always I only had pocket money to lose.
underage. Now, themed casinos have always had an audience, but with Counter-Strike, there is an underage gateway to all of this because all you need is $2.50 to get your first skin through Valve, and you don't even need to show ID, which is a huge part of this. Even worse, when you go from the game to the casinos, which are hosted on third-party websites, most don't ID the players either. Or if they do, it's only after you've already gambled thousands of dollars, which is a bit like if a liquor store asked for ID after you drank 10 bottles of liquor.
Oh, God. Chat, sorry. Scheiße, guys, I'm so not in the mood for a serious video right now. I didn't sleep at all. But I want to watch this. But this is a bad time to watch. I just realized. Quick little story where they say with the liquor store, bro. I remember when I was 17 or something, or 16, like hard liquor bottles in Germany, they're 18 plus, right? When it's like 20% and stuff. And sometimes, like, I went, we went partying, like, my boys and I. And I remember I was with a friend of mine, Tom is his name, and we were at Edeka. And they always ID check at the beginning. So what we did was we asked other people to, like, buy something for us. Or like he did. I don't know if I can say if I did it. Some people told us that they did that. And bro, they asked someone in the store, like, yo, can you please, like, check this out for us? And bro, the guy, he said, like, sorry, boys, wrong job. We were like, what do you mean? Bro was a police officer. I swear on God. But he didn't do anything. He didn't like, I don't know. He wasn't in his job right now. I don't know. He just let us go and said, go find someone else. Oh, man.
Absurd, but it's so also very profitable because underage gamblers not only are new customers, they're way more likely to become gambling addicts, which is how casinos make most of their money. These days, most physical casinos have a strict ID policy at the door. This isn't because they're good people, it's because they're heavily regulated and would lose their gambling license if they knowingly allowed underage players. But Counter-Strike gambling is fundamentally different. Regulation for these casinos is almost non-existent because they're offshore in Malta, Curacao, Cyprus, and most of them are using loopholes to pretend that this isn't even gambling at all. Look, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because different casinos use different loopholes, but suffice to say, this has been going on a long time. Back in 2016, a very similar story broke in a big way about scam casinos and underage gambling problems in Counter-Strike, and everyone was understandably enraged. Valve even got involved, had to send out cease and desist letters. Even the FTC went after influencers, but when the dust settled, there weren't that many consequences. Part of the reason was because of these loopholes. In fact, the most infamous casino, CSGO Lotto, claimed not even to be a casino at all. They said they were a sweepstakes. Now, this is obviously absurd. It's not true, but none of that matters because it got them out of trouble. And so the same types of casinos have continued, just with new owners and new names.
Chad, what was this again, this loophole, this sweepstake loophole? Don't they have somewhere imprinted for a sweepstake, it means you can enter for free, right? And they somewhere in their like text imprint have, you can send us a letter with like this and you will get something, like you will enter for free or like be able to, but like it's a dead fucking mail address and stuff. Something like this. No, I remember a site getting exposed and they have it in the imprint. You can send a letter to this and this address in Curacao or whatever. And yeah, it's just like for legally that they are a sweepstake. Yeah.
Left with then is an industry that is unregulated, if anything, self-regulated,
I think,
which I discovered creates its own race to the bottom problem because consumer protection in an unregulated market will literally drive away your customers. For example, remember Monarch from the last video and his casino CSGO Empire? One of the things they do that I actually think is good is they block certain IPs where gambling is illegal, and they admit that what they're doing is gambling. Now, you can easily get around these geo restrictions with a VPN, but it's sort of an extra hurdle. Most Counter-Strike casinos don't even do this. And listen to one gambler explain why this tiny decision to just geo-block one region, the US, affected who he chose to gamble with.
So when I went onto Empire, while it's still easy to bypass it, you could just put a VPN, just takes an extra 5 minutes. CSGO Roll, I can just, once again, type it into my browser. Deposits.
Oh, you're an American.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So no VPN restriction, no geo blocking.
Yes, correct. So on Roll, 0 VPN blocking, 0 any bypassing. On Empire, there is blocking, but it truthfully is very easy to bypass.
Right. That makes sense. Most people end up going with the casino who asks them less questions, requires less from you. Even if you're not illegally trying to gamble, you just don't want to have to put in personal information, anything like that. This all taught me that in the world of unregulated gambling, it's more complicated than just saying, okay, casinos want toddlers gambling. It's also market dynamics, right? You get a competitive edge by not regulating. Less work, more customers, more money, which means you can't just solve the problem by wagging your finger at bad casinos. The entire system is broken. As long as these loopholes exist, why would anyone change? In fact, some websites like Clash.gg even advertise their lack of regulation as a feature, not a bug. The CEO even bragged on Twitter, quote, Clash just paid out its biggest one-time cash out instantly with no verification.
Yo. Huh? Dude, Clash as well, if you know, you know. They're buying up a lot of domains right now and like businesses that communities used to use for things like, for example, to look up CS skins. We had CSGO Stash or CS Stash. They bought that. Now it's like a Clash GG like thingy with ads everywhere. And as well, they did the same, I think, for Rust. For all the people that are playing Rust, they also had a database and they bought it too for like tens of thousands. Like just bought the site and branded it for themselves. Oh man. And apparently CS Stash, they said it's not even like their biggest move yet. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I feel like they're going for HLTV. I don't know if that's possible because it's a .org or whatever. I don't fucking know. But I don't know. I feel a little bit weird, low-key.
Couldn't be more happy.
Because as well, like HLTV has been like doing Clash sponsorships recently and stuff. I don't know.
With the product and reputation we are building. This guy sees it as a badge of honor to do no checks. And it is a positive reputation.
Or Empire, I don't know.
If you want to appeal to underage players, money launderers, or just people who want to avoid a hassle, a VPN and putting in an ID. And this is all a huge problem. But how big of a problem is it, you might wonder? After all, we're talking about video game skins. How much money could this industry really be worth? I wondered the same thing. So I asked around for how much these casinos are making and got several estimates. One owner claims he has an 8-figure business, and someone who worked for his partner claims that is true. How much does he make on Clash?
His partner, Boris, right, also known as Dogs Playing Poker, Friendly Chemist, he told me directly that it
Wait, Friendly Chemist? Why have I heard of that name?
was making about $50 million a month.
What?
That's a lot of money, and this roughly matches what the popular gambling Counter-Strike YouTuber told me as well, saying he'd estimate these sites are making tens of millions monthly. And there are so many of these sites that the YouTuber Jeff estimated it all in a different way, looking at the total amount of website traffic compared to a popular
total traffic, 47 million visits.
Online casino.
So when you bring them together, those CSGO websites bring almost double the traffic of the biggest online casino today. And this online casino declared a gross revenue of 2.6 billion in 2022. Now that doesn't mean the CSGO websites are grossing more, but it's a great element to put things in perspective.
So even though it's tough getting an exact number since these casinos might overestimate or underestimate for many reasons, either way, it's clear these businesses are making huge.
Chad, how do you check those numbers? Is it Google Trends or what do you call it? Similar web? I low-key want to remind me after this. I want to compare some things. Some like domains, some popular sites compared to those like gambling sites.
Amounts of money. And there's many of these casinos. We've just focused on a few in our videos, but there's so many more of these websites, each potentially making millions a month. And no one's gonna change their behavior until they're incentivized to by regulation across the board. Until then, less regulation will always mean a wider customer base, even if some of those customers are underage. The irony here being the biggest voice of change so far really has been Monarch. From the last video, you guys know I am no fan of this guy's methods, but I'll be honest, there's large parts of his public arguments that are hard to argue with. He claims to understand the underage problem because that's how he started as well.
How I got into gambling myself was when I was 13 and I was playing RuneScape, and how the duel arena was like a gateway drug for me. That's how gambling started for me, and that's where it went into third-party sites. I'm just disgusted about this whole loop. I think that the whole case system on Steam is pretty horrible. The way how there is no KYC. It's such a powerful tool for getting children and even adults. I think even adults, they have a gambling problem. It's not only like it's not a age exclusive thing. It's just a machine that makes people gamble. Imagine there's a kid who just plays CSGO and they open one box. Pretty innocent. They get their mom's credit card. They spend €2 to open a box. Okay, then they open a second box, third box, fourth box, and so on. And soon they see their favorite influencer playing on some third-party case opening site. And this is where it's like switching from weed straight to, I don't know, amphetamine or something.
Low key, because I remember as well when I was young and into CS, back in the day I was watching case openings on those sites as well. I remember I was watching, the Germans will know, I was watching Giorgio. I was watching, always when the big guys did it, like Face Clan and stuff. I think too, Biba Nato. I was always watching on those sites, Phantom Lord. It's nowadays, I'm not like interested in watching any of it. Don't want anything to do with it because it's like nowadays, like it's all like, how am I supposed to say this? Like the people who are playing, it's first of all how bad it is. You don't realize as a kid, like how dangerous. Second of all, most of the time it's like it's not even the money that they're playing with, and the big wins as well. We had many situations where it was always rigged sides, right? Rigged outcomes. And as a kid, you were like, whoa, how the hell did you just hit that? Bro, I swear on God, as a kid, you don't see through that. I didn't see. I was looking at those videos. I swear. Let me quickly check what I want to see what I was watching, because I was watching a lot of Giorgio back in the day. I want to see. Oh my God, who remembers, chat? Who remembers? Wait!
And you could claim coins every.
Nee. It was with like Pokemons and stuff. Drake Moon, I remember that. Yeah.
115.
Lord.
Damn, homie.
I swear I was watching those videos. New bugged case, Drake Moon, 14x profit. Yo, 9,000 likes, 800 dislikes. Chat, what world was that back then? And is it different now? It feels a little bit different now, no? I feel like nowadays something like this doesn't get, like, this was mainstream deluxe back in the days. Those sites, those fake openings. 1 million views.
A little bit uploaded with like best knife case ever. Well, that's one way to get profit. Someone want me to open a case upside down? Bro, you're fucking crazy. Let's do it though. I'm so bad when it comes to like gymnastics or some shit. Like I seriously feel like I'm 80. Fuck! Oh, I can't even open it. I fucking.
What the fuck? What if I told you? Billiard, please, in Russian. I don't speak London. 1 million views. Lol. Dude, I remember watching those videos. Like, lol.
And they just go deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, and soon they are addicted. And the next thing you know, when they want to stop gambling, it's easy to just close these websites. But what happens when you go on social media? You go on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, any platform. What do? You get gambling ads everywhere. The algorithm starts feeding you. It's like, imagine you are addicted to heroin, and then everywhere you go, you just see like heroin. Here, look, your hero is taking heroin.
So.
Like nowadays on Twitter, who knows, like the gambling site who puts their watermark onto every single post, just like viral videos, no connection with gambling, anything, just like a deer eating a burger and like 5 million views, and then like at the bottom like a steak logo. Bro, what the hell?
We have to separate these two things out. Yes, this guy's methods are terrible, but I'll admit, it's nice to see a casino owner talking honestly about their industry and admitting that what it is gambling and not some kind of sweepstakes. But even if Monarch said...
I wonder how big the gambling space is compared to back in the day, at least for I don't know, like total number I would love to know, and as well with CS. Is CS... I feel like you think CS is bigger than it was, like when it was all so mainstream? Those third-party like gambling sites and stuff, yeah, used to be probably much bigger. I don't know, obviously bigger. Isn't it a huge problem, like gambling in general, with this youth? I remember, I don't know if I can say this. Yeah, fuck, I can say it. Zippel, he said how bad it is. I think in Danish schools, the schools had to block gambling sites, like the addresses, because the kids would gamble during school. I think, was it primary school? I think primary school, I'm not kidding, it's a huge problem. Because on TikTok, you see tons of like gambling stuff always going viral and everything. I keep seeing memes. Why am I in the algorithm, by the way? I keep seeing memes like when you double down and like just like gambling memes. I swear they have like 500,000 likes.
Says he wants to change without the actual power of a regulator. He just ends up having.
Chad, I have a question. Can I ask this? Yeah, fuck. Honest question. Can any human get addicted to gambling, or is there as well something that you have to have like in like yes, no, yes, no, mixed opinions. How is it 50-50? I was before, now healed. How did you do it, Steve, if I may ask? Maybe that's good and insight. Oh God! First thing he said was exclamation mark giveaway. Okay, but that's not. That's like some. He's typed it as a joke. That's not gambling. Scheiße. Can you say how maybe what helped you? Because I feel like it could help maybe people watching. I don't know. Because me personally, as much as we want to joke about it, I don't think I am addicted to gambling. But I feel like I know my boundaries. Like I've been addicted to watching Trainwrecks streams and stuff, for example. Like just looking at it. And I even went as far one time. I don't know if I should say this. Yeah, fuck it. He was playing something, a German slot, Export, Das Boot or something, and it just looked so like the sounds and stuff, and I was going for free spins. Oh God! And then, like I went on the like website where you, like from the provider itself, and like just for the music, just stimulate. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But I never deposited. Because I know that it's dangerous. And you should never touch it too. It takes great willpower. Yeah. Everyone clap it up for Steve. I swear on God, Steve. Stay clean forever, all right? Damn.
To harass people, threaten people, which isn't going to get him anywhere. Now,
even though I do think I have a hella fucking addictive personality, if that's even a thing. Video games, like I know myself, dark and darker. I was playing until 5 a.m. in the morning every single day, then 6 hours of sleep, waking up again, not streaming for like a whole month. Bro, it is GG. It is like, what I do now is just try to stay away from things that I know I will get addicted to. Like not spin a slot, League of Legends. I feel like I get so easily addicted to games. Dude, I almost did the biggest mistake of my life. When I was going home from my mom from Christmas, I was looking for a game to download on my phone because it was a long train ride. And there was a game on the App Store. Yo, I almost downloaded it. I think it would have been GG. Number one game on the App Store. Right here. Wait. It's the top 3 game. It's the one with cards. The roguelike. Balatro or something it's called. Bro, I almost bought it. I think it would have been GG, boys. I swear to God. I think this game would have sucked me in. Oh, jeepers. Balatro is good as fuck. Bro, I googled it before and everyone on Reddit said like, dude, I had to like, my girlfriend told me to uninstall it. It's getting too much. Oh my God. Play it. Yo, no, guys, stop. Stop. I get sucked in with stuff like this.
not only that, he's no saint either. His own website doesn't ID people right away. According to CSGO's Empire's terms, they only require you to verify your age if you want to withdraw more than 2,000 coins in crypto or deposit substantial amounts of money. If you withdraw via skins, there is no limit. So even the guy who claims he started underage gambling, he understands the gateway drug that skin betting websites act as, even he refuses to fully ID customers because he knows he'd go out of business.
I'm really committed to, I want to make it stricter and stricter. Like, you can't jump to the deep end just like immediately on one day. That would make us go out of business. But really my end goal is I want to do full-blown KYC before anybody deposits. I want to make it as clean as possible.
This, more than anything, shows the limit to the let's self-regulate idea, right? Even the biggest critic of underage gambling can't bring himself to actually ID his customers up front because his competitors won't do it, and he says it would ruin his business. So maybe the solution isn't with the casinos at all. Maybe it's a good time to talk about the influencers who promote it instead. Because when I learned and asked about people who got into this type of gambling, I wondered, how did they get into it in the first place? Who did they hear about it from? And one thing kept popping up.
One of the primary ways I actually learned was through YouTube. It popped up in my recommended page because I was a big fan of Counter-Strike. I'd play it, in my free time. Some gambling videos popped up and I thought, hey,
Streamers kind of exposed me to that space first.
I saw it online. I saw a bunch of these YouTubers playing it.
Found out CSGO gambling just pretty much through watching people on Twitch and YouTube. Juicy was one of them. I actually remember very vividly. He was this guy that would do all these case openings on different websites and such. He was very much affiliated with them. He had codes and all of these things.
I've been surrounded by like Syndicate and like FaZe Clan, for example.
I watched my favorite YouTubers.
Right. YouTubers and streamers, of course, are going to be one of the main advertising vectors. It's been that way since 2016. Influencers are the main lifeblood of these casinos. Fast forward 8 years later, it's just different influencers, different casinos making the money than before. But unlike casinos who we know intuitively are blood-sucking leeches on society, influencers, by contrast, well, we expect more from them. We don't get it.
Why are you saying
we expect
GG?
more.
Why is part 5 exposing Ohne's long? Yo, bro. You can joke as much as you want about it. You are part of the problem. I'm not gonna deny that I'm not. But I do think I would be a bigger problem if I would advertise sites as well. Like I do open cases on stream. Yes. I do that. Guys, we've had the discussion 20 times already. For me, I said I have, for me, a difference between opening cases on a casino where a skin is basically just a token of like a coin, basically, right? You're just spinning a slot, like on stake. Where the skin, the Dragon Law is just 4,000 coins and not like the actual. For me, cases, first of all, when we don't even look at the sponsor part, but just differentiating the two, it's Bruder, nein. I can't win. The people who don't like this topic anyways, they say me. For me, I've realized myself that I want to stay clear with myself. Skins have given me everything, not skins, but CS2 and CSGO. I've been in it since a kid. I've been hooked. 2 skins since I was 16. This is the way how skins get created, like a Pokemon pack gets unboxed. I love doing it. I've always loved doing it. I don't like opening cases on third-party sites. That's just spinning a slot. Is it as bad as those casinos? I think it's very bad, but not as bad. Because those sites always have ways of like keeping you hooked, daily rewards, levels, the social aspect of people like this, that. I would own my money with you guys losing your money, with my community losing my money. I wouldn't be able to sleep with that. I do open cases on stream, yes, because I enjoy it, because as well it usually makes a good stream, and I enjoy it a lot as well, as you can tell. Yeah, it's something that I've done, but that I as well like. Am I proud of it? No, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't get paid to open a case on stream. If I lose money opening 1,000 cases, I lose it. I can say please don't open cases and not get paid to say please open cases using my code. I don't know. I do. For me, there is a big difference in that. That's how I justify it myself. Have I gotten people probably into gambling because they saw me open a case, then they watch another streamer from the CSGO scene who plays on the site, or even they look for sites. Oh, the odds that ohnepixel has are kind of bad. Let me look up for better. Of course. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Am I aware of that? Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I set the line somewhere. I've set it years ago, where I said I wouldn't take sponsors. I wouldn't pay my bills with people losing their money to gambling addiction through me. I don't want to sell out my community. if that's how I see it. I've talked to people about it, to Jesus, to Zippel, who have similar opinions, had long discussions, because as well, I didn't always have good money, and those sites pay you crazy fucking money. That's why as well I don't throw an eye to people who take these sponsors, because everybody has to pay their bills. And sometimes if things don't look so good on Twitch or whatever, and you have no other job, and then the site offers you your monthly bill to cover, and maybe for your family something as well, I'm not going to throw an eye and say, this is the worst person ever. But do I like it? Do I want to do it myself? No. I want to always find a way to do it without, I don't know. I feel weird talking about this because for multiple reasons. I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm this guy who doesn't take it. No, but for me, this is where I put the line. Opening cases is bad too, but I do think there's a difference. All right.
So I wanted to confront 3 different.
And sorry for the yapping. This topic I don't like talking about because I feel like if I explain myself, it's the people who think it's the same. They're gonna say, anyways, it's you make your own opinion. I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like I can only lose if I explain myself. I don't know.
Influencers who do this gambling streaming stuff of different sizes and get their opinions on why they promote this stuff and how they can possibly justify it.
This is interesting.
I don't think people should gamble, honestly, on the sites. They shouldn't gamble at all. But I enjoy doing it, so it's what I do. If that makes any sense, I don't know.
No. That part of it makes sense. That the part where you want to do it, so you continue to do it, that makes sense. But let's say I'm like, I don't think smoking is good for you, but I like smoking. It makes sense that I would smoke. It doesn't make sense that I would get.
Bro, I didn't realize why he blows a cloud.
But I like smoking.
Just like you defend it, yeah. But with me, it's the difference. I don't get paid if I do it. Like I do think there's a difference. I can do the thing that I enjoy on stream and still tell people to not do it, and we can say together like, oh look, this is bad or whatever. Like I don't have to be fake and say please do it so I can pay, so I can make millions. I think there's a difference.
It makes sense
bro.
that
No
I would
way.
smoke. It doesn't make sense that I would go promote it.
Yeah.
To get people to smoke.
Yeah. No. I definitely understand that perspective too.
I feel like one of the arguments that most people give in this situation, and I still don't know how to value this argument, I haven't thought about it too much. I feel like most people give the argument, if I don't do it, somebody else will do it. If I don't advertise the site, they're gonna go they watch this person anyways, and they take the $1 million bag, and my fan gets hooked through this guy anyways. But it's never one-to-one. There's always, I think, yeah. I think that's a take that I've heard before, because I've talked to people, why do you do it? But I don't think it holds 100%, because there's always, like, you never have, first of all, one-to-one communities, and as well, it's are you proud of yourself if you advertise something like, I don't know.
And
proud is the wrong word. I'm too fried to discuss topics like this right now. Oh, jeepers creepers.
Yeah, it's a very good argument, and it's like you can't really argue against it, right? It's not a good thing, but it's something that I still enjoy doing, and so I'm going to continue to do it.
Is it just too much money? That's an acceptable answer. It's just too much money to turn down.
I'd say in the beginning it probably was too much money. At this point, like it's not about the money for me. It's just I really enjoy doing it.
Well, in the videos,
One thing I want to clarify, because I did say I'm not throwing an eye at people that take a gambling sponsor because it is so much money. I do think there's a certain level at one point where it's just greed. I meant people who take a sponsor who need to take it in order to keep on going, to like put food on the table, because there are situations like this. But I do think there's a line sometimes. And yes, I have friends that as well where it probably crosses the line, but yeah, I don't know if for me, I can have different opinions than my friends. There's always things that you don't agree with, but that I'm not a fan of.
I don't sugarcoat. I don't try to convince people that winning or gambling is a way or a solid option to flip a quick buck. Even in my wins, I preface that this is not a sustainable thing. So it's not something that I necessarily, I don't know. You can watch the videos and decide for yourself if it feels like promotion, but that's how I reason it to myself. I don't even, use the rewards. I don't advertise it at all.
Wait,
so to myself, I don't even, use the rewards. I don't advertise it at all. So I don't, the rewards thing, it's more of like I said, I don't advertise it. So I don't feel guilty.
But you do advertise. You get paid to advertise it, right?
Not the reward system. No, I don't mention the rewards.
No. I'm saying CSGO roll.
Yes.
We're talking about the gambling side.
Yes.
We both know it's not going to be good for people. And then you're kind of saying, well, I don't really promote it. I don't really advertise it. But in a way, if you didn't promote or advertise it, they wouldn't pay you millions of dollars.
Yeah, I watched your Trainwrecks video and you said the same thing. You're like the less dirtier of the dirt bags. So I guess I would call myself that. And ultimately, if you watch the video, you can decide like how less dirty is he really. But yeah, that's my answer.
Most people are going to, unfortunately, gamble with or without certain streamers, right? Obviously, it's intended to be like a McDonald's ad. You see a McDonald's ad, you see a Big Mac, you're gonna go.
He's bringing the argument that I said, no? What so those people often like how they argue?
I'm craving a Big Mac. So it's the same concept.
You're saying like, oh, I'm just like kind of promoting McDonald's, whatever.
No, it's not. It's not like promoting McDonald's. Let's be honest. Gambling is a terrible addiction. My closest friend has a very, very bad gambling addiction. He'll get paid on, let's say, a Tuesday, and by Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, his whole paycheck is gone for 2 weeks, and then he has no money. And no matter what I do to intervene to help that individual try to hold his money, to help him sit there and self-exclude, he finds ways, because it's an addiction. It's just as bad as any other drug because of that dopamine rush.
Yeah, the answers were part.
This is also a big thing, no? Sometimes people who didn't even have to do anything with gambling or whatever, but they get an offer from a casino or whatever, huge amounts of money. They think, oh yeah, I'll take it. Maybe they didn't think about like the repercussions of it before, like what it has to themselves and the community and everything. And then they take it and they get completely addicted themselves. And even like what the casinos pay, like they just put it back in again and ruin their own whole life about it. Like, I swear that has happened multiple times, no? Where people weren't even into it. A site comes, offers the money to like advertise it, and then they get completely hooked themselves.
Part admissions, part rationalizations. They all knew gambling was bad, but they'd stop short of actually doing something about it because they were making money from it, even when they knew people whose own lives were hurt by it. So if you know the harm firsthand, you've seen it in your own life, how do you justify peddling that drug, as you call it?
It's going to happen, in my opinion, right? And like, there is no justification. Can I say like I'm a drug dealer? Sure, you could, you're gonna label certain streamers are gonna be labeled as a drug dealer, in essence, and that's okay, I guess, if people are going to view it that way. I mean, I want
to know how you view it.
How I feel,
because you said
it's worse than a drug dealer. Am I tripping? A drug dealer doesn't go to you in the park and say and advertise their cocaine like once you had it, like then you're searching for it. But if you advertise it to people who weren't like even in contact with it before, I think it's worse.
You said
they do. Wait, what? Okay, I didn't know.
It was kind of like a drug, so I wanted.
It is a drug. I mean, it hits the dopamine levels. Hell, I get hit dopamine levels if I hit big. It's and then that becomes a YouTube trick. I feel bad. I do, right? I hate to hear when people say I've lost money. I hate it, dude. I really, it crushes me because some people legit do it because they're bored and then they lose everything they have, and it is a terrible feeling to hear that, right?
Not to question their sincerity, but I've heard all of them say that they hate when people get addicted. They don't want to see anyone hurt, but they refuse to stop even though they know casinos are run on addicts. Fun fact, Clash.gg, who earlier, we had their CEO admitting he was proud of not IDing players, also admitted that the majority of their revenue comes from a tiny fraction of their most addicted players.
Less than 1% of accounts make up for 80% of our revenue. Everyone has gambled at one point or another, and a very small portion developed issues. Calling anyone who enjoys gambling desperate and ruining their lives perpetuates a narrative to people that you can't gamble in a healthy manner. What are you talking about? Maybe those other people don't have the millions to throw away like this 1%. Am I tripping? But they still have the same, like, addiction problem. If people think they can never gamble healthy, they won't learn and build good. Is there healthy gambling? I don't know.
Quote, less than 1% of Clash accounts make up 80% of our revenue. It's just an admission from their founder. It's an open secret. So these influencers can empathize about how horrible addiction is, but they know that's where their paycheck comes from. The CEO of Clash has a profile on Twitter that says, never gamble, the house always wins. But ironically, his house is probably from people gambling. The fact of the matter is that these people say with their mouth, I feel terrible, I feel bad. But when it comes to actually changing, they never do. Even when they directly scam people, they will still find a way to rationalize it. And this next part is pretty dark. But for a moment, we're going to have to go back for a second to the PGL major tournament and talk about the thing I was originally offered a bounty to investigate. A specific casino that is owned by the same group as CSGO Roll, but this one is called HypeDrop. It's owned by Monarch's arch nemesis. HypeDrop was a casino where instead of gambling Counter-Strike skins, you could gamble real-world items, like real-world loot boxes. For example, you could pay for a real loot box that would get you anything from like a $10 gift card to a Lamborghini, for example. It's just gambling with physical items. But the real secret sauce of this website was a loyalty program called the Daily Cases, where the more you spent, the higher level you got, the more you'd get these daily cases, which essentially were free money. Every single day, you could go on their website and open these daily cases, and theoretically, you'd get free stuff, free money. Which, if that sounds unsustainable, it is. It was all part of a scheme, it turns out, to make the Danish government believe that HypeDrop was not actually gambling. I received a letter HypeDrop gave to the Danish regulator arguing players could not lose money on their site because over time, the daily cases paid back all the losses over roughly 3 years. This is one of those loopholes.
Bro, I swear, this battle of sites trying to like go under the radar. There was as well, remember when G2 announced their partnership with CSGO Roll, which is straight up just like a site where you like spin a case in order, like, you know, like it's full on like case opening. And then they add like G2 in their like statement, they put like, we finally made partnership with this CS marketplace, CSGO Roll Pro CS Skins marketplace, they call it.
Talked about where they're going to argue they're not actually gambling because you can't lose. Now, of course, I asked HypeDrop about this, and initially they denied ever sending this letter. Eventually, I showed them that I had their document, and they finally confessed, saying they did do it on one occasion, but denied trying to pass it off as an investment. They then quickly scurry away, saying, this is our last comment. I bet it is, because they got caught making bad faith arguments to the Danish government. This type of loophole is why in their promotional material, HypeDrop said things like, yes, you'll always make at least your money back, and quote, we offer return on what you invest through our daily reward system, and quote, it's a win-win situation every time. Now, it only takes
how can you
a few moments to realize that offering jackpots and money back to losers isn't gonna work. It has to be a scam, which is why many people like Monarch called this thing an unsustainable Ponzi scheme. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's right. On March 27th, 2024, Killian, the owner, announced that he was shutting down the site, effectively rug pulling his customers, who were all relying on
it was an actual classical Ponzi? Like it was actual over 3 years money back fully to the users? But they pulled the plug before the 3 years? I didn't even know. I didn't know that it was a Ponzi. I thought maybe like, I thought they kept arguing that it's a scam because the odds are rigged or something. I didn't know that it was an actual like classic crypto Ponzi type thing.
these daily cases to make their losses back. This is part of what Monarch's paid goons were yelling about at the PGL majors. By removing their daily cases, HypeDrop, in my opinion, stole from their users and effectively revealed their legal loophole to be a lie. Now, with that all understood, let's circle back to this guy, Juicy, a gambling streamer who we heard from earlier. He was easily one of the biggest promoters of HypeDrop, and I wanted to know, given that he has widely promoted a scam, what was he gonna do to make things right? So let's talk about HypeDrop at this point. This has been kind of what precipitated the PGL majors, according to Monarch. He says, I had to protest HypeDrop. It was a Ponzi scheme that collapsed, and CSGO rolls next. Now, when I was looking up HypeDrop, you were one of the people who was promoting it, like one of the bigger YouTubers I saw, maybe the biggest. Yeah. What's your take on promoting this stuff? Where's your ethical line for what you will take, what you won't take on?
Yeah. So to my understanding, I had never worked with a gambling site that had rewards that function like a Ponzi scheme, you know? So when I was playing on it, I'm not promoting the rewards, you know? I'm not like, this is the most rewarding IRL gambling site. So I was just playing with the product itself, and, you know, making content around that.
How can you say this to Coffee with a straight face? Huh?
So obviously it's really f***ing annoying and bullshit when the rewards get, first off, cut down, and then second off, now there is no reward offering and the site's going away. Like, I'm obviously very upset, not just for my own intent, but also mainly.
What did he not know?
For the people who, especially if people put money into HypeDrop, thinking of it like a good monetary investment versus like, I'm just gambling, you know? I'm pretty sure from my understanding, that wasn't like a advertised thing. At least they weren't advertising. They weren't saying, hey, you got to tell them about this great investment option. I think that was more of a legal loophole that they were, you know, trying to operate.
He's just lying about some of this. He says he didn't advertise his daily cases, but I think he didn't think I'd watch his videos because he definitely did.
Daily reminder, claim your daily cases. They're free monies. Code JUICY will get you 3 free cases, so might as well. I mean, my daily cases used to pay a filthy amount of money. It was a full-time income just claiming them. Claim this every day, dude. We're making a full-time salary every month.
Yeah, he calls the daily cases basically a full-time salary. But I thought surely after seeing that HypeDrop scammed people, he would cancel his sponsorship with the same company. Like, it's the sister casino CSGO Roll, right? He has to stop that now that he's scammed his audience. He didn't cancel it, right? So let me ask you, does that mean you're no longer going to work with CSGO Roll since they're run by the same people?
Well, I've already promoted the site and I already have fans who use the site. And I don't think the reward offering there is going to change. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate
but I think
that
you
they
can
did
see. I think you can see the logic of no one thought HypeDrop was going to rug people from these cases, these daily rewards. And if you are regretful, wouldn't that turn into some kind of action on your part to like change who you're working with?
Yeah, I understand that completely. But I feel like Counter-Strike sites aren't there to stay forever in the first place. I don't think anyone's expecting them to stay forever, and there really isn't many great options. So yeah, maybe it's fucked up of me that I continue to do so, absolutely.
What?
But it really is one of the better options on the market right now, and there's a ton of dog shit on the market. So yeah,
and there it is. Absolutely, he doesn't want to change. Absolutely, he's not going to stop what he's doing. At the end of the day, past all the rationalizations, that's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter what you show them, what you prove to them. They're making too much money. And that is the part that I was struggling to like really get from these people, is they would always say like, I do it for the love of gambling, man. I would do it if nobody paid me. Of course, they always do it getting paid. But this is the single biggest cope of gambling streamers. In fact, even Grim told me this, who we spoke to earlier about getting harassed. Luckily for me, though, his tax records are public, so I knew that he was actually making a few $1 million a year.
What? Dude, I've never heard about Grim before this.
And had a few million reasons to lie about why he was doing what he did. So I decided to ask him if maybe...
And I don't want to be this guy, but I as well wouldn't be surprised if because he probably works with multiple sites. Sometimes those sites probably as well pay. I don't want to say, you know, but a crypto juicer here. You know what I mean? A refill there, and then you cash out the skins. $1 million inventory. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So I knew that he was actually
like, this is public, and there's already 5 mil.
Making a few $1 million a year and had a few million reasons to lie about why he was doing what he did. So I decided to ask him if maybe the money did play a role. Somebody reached out to me. They said, hey, I found Grimm's business. He made $5 million last year. Is that true? And does that undermine what you said about it's not about the money?
Yeah, no, that is true. Like, what's one of the, I guess, the downsides with Norway is everything's public. If they know my company name, even just my name, they Google around, they find it. So like everything that I make is public. And yeah, you could say that the argument is obviously hypocritical because like I made a lot of money, but like I don't do it because I make a lot of money. I'd still do it if I didn't make a lot of money. And like, even if I wasn't paid, I would still do it when I had excess money to do it because I like doing it. And it might like sound like a lie, but that's how I started it. And that's how I always wanted to continue.
It sounds like the $5 million might have something to do with it.
I don't know.
But that's fine. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I 100% understand what people would think like, oh, no, it's only because of the money. But like, I know myself that it isn't only because of the money, but it's obviously great. Don't get me wrong.
How much did you make this year?
I'd rather not say, but I could say it's a lot.
Come on, Juicy, tell us. Tell us. Look,
so I actually don't know the exact answer myself, but I can tell you it's going to be right around Grimm's number, which I know he told you already.
Grimm's $5 million.
Yeah, and then I got to pay a stupid tax rate on that, but it's probably around there.
Poor guy, he has to pay taxes.
Both made about $5 million last year. So it's kind of obvious why they're not going to stop based on just a moral argument. And I began to wonder, like, how many of these influencers take these deals because they are so profitable? Well, luckily, thanks to the hard work of Jeff, who we mentioned earlier, whose documentary you should definitely go watch, I found out it's almost everyone.
This is the top 300 CSGO streamers since the beginning of this year, ranked by watch time. Of 300, 226 are currently sponsored by at least one of them. Some have up to 5. We are looking at 75%.
75%. It's insane.
Call me weird. I think it's more. Because I remember, like, when we looked at those numbers and I was like, no way, that it has to be more. Often it's they don't have the sponsor at this moment, but they had it 2 months ago and they were like, you know what I mean? I think it's more than 75.
Counter-Strike gambling is basically funding over half of the scene with these ridiculous paychecks.
As well, his list included, if I'm not mistaken, something like just like tournament broadcasts, which are not like streamers, right? Sometimes like Elisa Esports or something.
And
75%. It's insane. Counter-Strike gambling is basically funding over half of the scene with these ridiculous paychecks. And I began to wonder, not about the people who said yes, but the people
no, it was something else. Yeah. I remember because I talked to him about this. He had people as like, because I remember pausing the video and there was like a name like, now this guy is doing full out gambling sponsor. And he, for this data, he clicked on the, oh God, arrow incoming. He clicked on the channel. Like here, he clicked on the channel, checked if there's anything in the panels, and if there wasn't anything, he put them as no. And that was 75%. But there were often people, there was a tournament going on while he made this list. And so they couldn't have the sponsor during the co-streams on. And then he put them as no Gamba sponsor, even though like the ESL or whatever just told them, take your sponsors out for this co-stream. It's more than 75.
300, 226.
Not trying to put myself on this high horse right now. Yeah, but it's a lot of money that they pay.
Are currently sponsored by at least one of them. Some have up to 5. We are looking at 75%.
Why is Arrow coming after this?
75%. It's insane. Counter-Strike gambling is basically funding over half of the scene with these ridiculous paychecks. And I began to wonder, not about the people who said yes, but the people who said no. They're the minority. I wanted to know, for the people who said no, how much were they offered and why didn't they take it?
Arrow!
This is something I think about a lot. Because there have even been moments in time where I've been offered $300,000 for a month of gambling. $5,000 an hour. That could change my life. That could retire my mom. That could alter my family's lineage. But I keep turning it down. That was when I was an even smaller streamer than now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
One of the things I've been thinking a lot about is like how to change this, you know, if what does even change look like, right? That's part of what I'm thinking about. It's like, what does even change look like for this industry? And one thing that I came to is like, the incentives have to change because they're so out of whack. The second you allow gambling sponsorships and streamers to like get sponsorship deals, how are you going to stop someone from taking that amount of money? You're a good person, so you just don't want to do it. That's your personal line. But
this makes me so happy. I don't know why.
I think it's hard for just even somebody who's a good person to say no. You know, it's only because you know what it would do to people. But that is such a crazy amount of money. You know, this interview almost ruined me on this story. I began to wonder if change was even possible when money like this is in the field for play. Like, the casinos aren't going to regulate themselves because they lose customers and there's so much money at stake. Most influencers aren't going to say no because there's so much money at stake and they could change their life and their families' lives by taking these deals. The more I looked into it, you can't expect all the people to be immune from this influence all at the same time, which is the only way to make change. It wasn't just the influencers or casinos either. Even esports, the most professional, supposedly, side of the game, was flooded with gambling. Almost every professional team had a gambling sponsor. For example, FaZe's Rollbit, the PGL Major was sponsored by 1xBet, G2 was sponsored by CSGO Roll, and this creates the same problem that it created with the influencers. If a sponsor is offering you buckets of money, it becomes really hard not to take, because if you don't take it, your competitor will. In fact, one esports owner argued the entire ecosystem in Counter-Strike, especially in the lower leagues, is basically funded by the gambling industry and gambling addicts. So I called him to understand more of how this works. Can you walk me through how gambling functions in the esports economy?
I know this guy. He's from, okay, it says it, but ITB. I remember because he was saying, like, if you want to ever do team, let me know. And then with ITB, they made the impossible. They made it to the major. And then I was like, whoa, is this guy cooking? But I didn't, like, I did it with Zippel instead.
The issue is that, or the issue, I guess, at hand that you're talking about is that this activity is enabled by more controversial sponsors in gambling and skin rolling sites. If those sponsors weren't permitted, then the tier 2 and beyond scene in CS specifically would likely wither or die, or at the very least constrict to a very large degree. So that's what I meant by my tweet that you should thank your local betting crackhead in Twitch chat. If you're a fan of tier 2 CS and beyond, then the reason you're watching that team play is probably because of that better. To note, this is also true of a lot of orgs' profitability. So the value that traditional sponsors bring in for a tier 2 org, even more, you know, with G2 and Rollbit, for example, the value that a traditional sponsor brings in versus a Gamba sponsor is like 15 or 20% of the value. So you don't really turn that down as an org owner unless you've got very specific moral qualms or disagree with gambling on a personal level.
But does this inflate the economy where if you're not taking a gambling sponsorship, you're almost at a disadvantage because your economics and what you're able to play players and attract talent is much less than somebody who, for example, has a gambling deal and is making way more money than you?
Yeah, to a degree, that's true, I think. Very, very few organizations are able to do it without Gamba. Largely, if you don't have Gamba, you're almost certainly going to be unprofitable.
You heard it there. You almost can't compete at the highest level without a gambling sponsor because they pay so much more than everyone else. And if everyone else is doing it, they will have more money to spend on a team than you and get better players and therefore likely beat you.
And money always gets you the wins. Look at Falcons. Scheiße. Maybe this year.
There's just no more profitable sponsor to turn to. And so a lot of people actually take the money. So even if that sponsor is a site that allows minors to play with no ID, who cares? Just slap an 18+ sticker in your ad for them and get plausible deniability. That's what G2 did when announcing their CSGO role sponsorship. A depressing fact about this video is the star of it, a guy named Monarch, turned 18 only days before they announced the sponsorship, which means in the video, it was filmed when he was 17. He was underage in their casino, supposedly 18+, and no one cared. A perfect metaphor for this entire industry. It's all optics. I have to tell you, by the way, the exact day I announced I was investigating Counter-Strike gambling, CSGO Roll did announce for the first time that they were going to be asking all users to prove that they're 18 before playing. Whether or not it's coincidence, they announced it same day. I don't know. Take it for what it is.
Wait, what? Sorry, I was in my thoughts.
They were going to be asking all users to prove that they're 18 before playing. Whether or not it's coincidence, they announced it same day. I don't know. Take it for what it is. Maybe it's a token gesture. They'll roll back. Or maybe it's a sudden change of heart for the youth. I don't know. Either way, the point I'm making is that for many people and professional teams, the choice to take a gambling sponsorship is like the choice for PEDs in the Olympics or steroids in the WWE. You can say no, but if everyone else is using them and getting ahead, you choosing not to for ethical reasons will get you left behind, and your peers will become more successful than you. It's a depressing cycle that has me flashing back to the CSGO Wild days several years ago.
By the way, sorry, fully like aside, but dude, how sick is this logo? I swear to God, because I was looking into logos for like when we were, what was it for? Ah, yeah, when we wanted to rebrand Skimbit, and like this logo is so good. No, I swear to God, this logo is so nice. I love this logo.
Has me flashing back to the CSGO Wild days several years ago.
I don't know why, I love it.
And realizing we're right where we started. CSGO Wild in 2016 was a gambling website secretly
look. Oh my God, what a beautiful logo.
Owned, slightly disputed, by FaZe Clan. And according to FaZe Banks, his motivation to do that was pretty simple.
My motivation for doing it actually was at the time we weren't making enough money to buy a CSGO team. All in, the venture was going to cost us like $1 million, and we definitely did not have anything close to that. So my brain, like we got to finesse it. We got to figure out how to make the money to buy this team now, because in the next 6 months, year, this team's gonna be worth like $4 or $5 million, and we're not going to be able to get into this game, which in our heads we need to get in this game.
Yeah, when you hear it, it sounds crazy. It sounds like a cope, but his plan actually worked. FaZe got away with it. FaZe Clan has a Counter-Strike team that won second place in the infamous PGL Major all these years after CSGO Wild. It's alive and well, and still funded, by the way, by gambling, just by a different gambling website. Now it's Rollbit. It's reportedly a multi-million-dollar deal. Now look, I know seeing this is all very depressing, but we've actually learned some really valuable things. Firstly, we can't fix this at the individual level of influencers, esports teams, or even casinos. Doxing people, harassing them doesn't fix it or the underlying problems. It's a deep systemic problem of incentives. Of course, acknowledging that also doesn't absolve individuals. I wouldn't dare say it's okay for Juicy to do what he does, where people have been scammed and he continues to work with the same parent company. That said, if he stopped, it wouldn't change things suddenly. Someone would take his place. So if we're serious about trying to solve this problem, we have to look farther up the food chain than influencers, even than casinos, even than
I would have loved to
esports
seen
leagues.
Sparkles in this interview. I would have loved to seen. He probably said no.
We have to zoom out and see the root cause.
Arrow at the end.
Valve definitely does have an underage gambling problem. They really don't have an incentive to stop it.
Underage, middle age, overage, however you want to slice it.
I think they have all the responsibility. I mean, you could pass me some of that if you want, but ultimately they're the kingpin, reaping in all of the money, or majority of the money, and there's a reason why they haven't killed it yet. they've possessed the power for all these years, but they allow it to go. And I feel like they do the bare minimum crackdown to allow it to keep operating.
Next part. Was? Director of the rewards model, blah, 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 blah. Chat, this part right here actually made me happy. The arrow part. I don't know if I can say... I'll just be straight... Today I'm being full straight up, fuck it. But, like he feels good here, and this makes me happy as well. You don't know how many discussions I've had with Arrow, with Jesus, with PSP, because we were all in this boat of like Gamba sponsor or no Gamba sponsor, right? Because offers always come in if you have a stream and stuff. If you have a like a stream with some numbers, and if you take it, you're like kind of like sucked in. So and of course you do have people realizing, okay, this guy is not taking these deals to like make millions quickly, but he puts like his maybe ethics, morals, and community above it, if you want to say it like this, right? Because that is what someone like Arrow does, what I think I do, what PSP did too, what Jesus does. Because it is millions that you say no to because of how you feel yourself, you know? And those are nice crops that you are aware of yourself, but it's still like you feeling good about yourself and like your morals, and then like here paying off everything for your family, being like good for your kids and everything, like, you know, like it is this big, and it feels nice to have a moment like this. This is why it feels so nice, because Arrow, he seems like this is as well like from a person like coffeezilla, and as well like on the big stage, because I've seen after this, for example, I was watching an Arrow clip and randomly I watched the comments, and there were people coming from coffeezilla over and saying like, yo, just saw you in the coffee video. Hey man, never really watched you, but wanted to give you props for not taking those filthy gambling songs. Keep it up, you're one of the real. Came here after watching coffeezilla. Look at this. And I swear on God, shit like this as well, it like gives you a nice feeling, and like it makes you confirm yourself like this is the right like thing or whatever. I don't know. Maybe this is like weird, like, or do you need this outside saying these outside yes men compared to just being fine with yourself? Nah, but it feels nice. All right, because you are denying disgusting money, you know, like tons of money. Do we go straight into the next one? Let's go.
I got bribed to make
this one. I'm scared about. This one has the same title as the old H3 one. If you know, you know. Here we go.
A video exposing a single Counter-Strike casino, but I decided to expose the whole industry instead, which led us from pitchforks to people rushing stages, millionaires making excuses, and esports teams who say they can't survive without gambling. The lack of any accountability making me wonder about the biggest casino of them all, Valve, the owner of Counter-Strike. Now, if you've watched the last few episodes, you know there's a lot of opinion.
Do you think he got a reply from Valve? I feel like maybe.
About what the problem is, who's the villain, who's the good guy. Hardly anyone agrees on anything. But I did find one thing that nearly everyone agrees on.
I started gambling on Counter-Strike when I was probably 13 years old.
13 years old. I think I was 14.
Valve definitely does have an underage gambling problem.
I think Valve does have an underage gambling problem.
Yes, it is underage gambling disguised because it holds real life value.
Underage, middle age, overage, however you want to slice it.
When I was young, that's the most easily influential age to get people in, because I can't go to a real casino and gamble.
Like what I did back then was I went to our local video game store, bought like $20 worth of Steam credits. I would buy skins with those $20 credits, no verification at all.
Right, this is the most consistent answer I've received in a story where no one agrees on anything. Underage gambling is rampant on Counter-Strike. Not only that, Valve has known this was a problem for at least 8 years. And for those 8 years, Valve has done things here and there, but they've never seriously tackled offshore gambling issues, with some speculating the reasons why.
I think they have all the responsibility. I mean, you could pass me some of that if you want, but ultimately they're the kingpin, reaping in all of the money, or majority of the money, and there's a reason why they haven't killed it yet. They've possessed the power for all these years, but they allow it to go. And I feel like they do the bare minimum crackdown to allow it to keep operating.
That's right. Now, the person you just heard has ulterior motives for putting the blame on someone else. Either way, today I want to investigate Valve's role in...
Chat, I remember this discussion when all those gambling sites got cease and desisted. Everyone said skins will almost go to zero. Skins will like completely plummet. How much do you think those sites affect the prices of skins? Of course, it's not a worry that I have or whatever. Like, who the fuck cares if skins like go down? It's sad for the people that own skins. But I'm just wondering about the question, how much it affects it, because a lot of people think that it's everything. To me, I don't think so. Oh, look at China. China doesn't buy a $10,000 knife to gamble. Because some people think it's like everything, the whole CS gambling stuff. 80%, I don't think so. No shot, bro. No shot. When it happened the first time, skins tanked after OP skins shut down. Yeah, but that's something else.
Counter-Strike gambling. How we got here, what Valve can do about it, and how they've been fighting the change that is so desperately needed. So let's start from 2013, when loot boxes were first introduced to the game in an update Valve called the Arms Deal. It was first described as all the illicit thrills of black market weapons trafficking without any of the danger, which is kind of true. They did create a black market of skin betting. The only thing that I find false here is the quote, without any of the danger, because if you look at the wrong casino, this guy might show up at your house. Either way, the Arms Deal update was the start of Counter-Strike gambling as we know it, with the introduction specifically of loot boxes.
Scheiße. Guys, oh man, scheiße, I love skins. I love skins. Like, bro, I just want to nerd out about the AKK Sun, which got introduced in the first update. It's so crazy what they created in the first update. Oh, Bruder, but this is not about it. Log in. Oh my god, bro. Like, bro, skins is my passion. It's like, if I love rare Pokemon cards you also unbox. This is worse, I know, but man, I love skins, man. Fuck. It's hard for me to focus on the topic right now, I swear on God.
We're gonna open one here so you can experience what that's like. First, you take out your wallet, pay $2.50, the case opens, and a wheel spins where items of varying rarity pass by. Knives and gloves are particularly valuable because they're particularly rare, but usually you get an item worth pennies. Now you might notice this whole process, especially the near misses, resembles a slot machine. I believe that's not an accident. This is the same company that hired experimental psychologists to design parts of their games.
So my name is Mike Amender. I'm an experimental psychologist at Valve, applying knowledge and methodologies from psychology to game design. So thinking about...
I haven't seen this! Oh my god! I haven't seen this! Old news doesn't matter, I haven't seen this. Chat, I love any piece of new information from Valve regarding anything that they do with skins. Do you remember when we watched the old interview of this woman from Valve talking about when they introduced skins? And it was the most interesting thing to me, like a blockbuster, like a North Korea documentary. I don't know this. But this is not about skins specifically, right?
How knowledge of human behavior can impact the choices that we're making. The hope is that we can take what we know about psychology, about the predictable ways humans might react or respond, and apply it to game design, and induce various responses or particular responses.
Right, Valve is a game studio that uses psychology to manipulate user behavior, and it's harmless in some areas when optimizing for fun or excitement. But when we look at loot boxes, what is Valve optimizing for? What behaviors are they trying to cause when they make their loot boxes look like a slot? And the answer, I believe, is they want you to just spend more money. And making a slot simulator has been incredibly effective for that. In total, some estimates are that 1.9 billion cases have been sold. At $2.50 per case, that's 4.9 billion for Valve, all spent on video game cosmetics. You can then trade these on the Steam store, which all gets Valve even more money because they take a cut. Last year alone, Counter-Strike made about $1 billion opening cases.
The skins update was a big change for the community, giving you something you can buy, something that you can customize your guns.
It's done where it doesn't necessarily impact.
Who's talking? Who's talking? I need to know. Who's talking? I need to know. She has CS in the back. Is this footage I don't know about? Who is this? I'm not kidding right now, chat. I haven't slept. It's 1st of 2025. Who is this? Is this straight from Valve?
Impact gameplay, but it gives people this exciting element to keep coming back and keep playing to get more skins.
How did I not
You
know
might be
this?
surprised to learn that although Valve designed a machine that looks like gambling, Valve actually insists that it's not. This is because of a loophole where technically Valve doesn't let you cash out your skins. You can sell them for money for your Steam wallet, but you can't convert that Steam wallet for cash. So the skins are technically worth nothing in the real world. They're just worth something in Steam's marketplace, meaning their slot machine of skins isn't gambling at all, or that's what they would say. The expected value is actually zero. And all that sounds great, except for the fact that obviously you can go to these third-party sites and get real money, real crypto. You can also go sell them on trading websites, which is also a huge part of this.
Scheiße, I feel like now is not a good I'm not gonna
economy where you can go sell your skins for cash. You never have to interface with the slot machine side of it. So this idea that skins aren't worth money is just, it's just not true. It's just that Valve isn't directly allowing cash outs, which is a loophole that allows people of all ages to open loot boxes, trade skins for money, all without showing ID. It's worth saying this loophole isn't new. It's the same thing pachinko parlors use in Japan because there, gambling is illegal. But pachinko parlors are gambling, but technically not, because when you gamble, instead of winning cash, you win these small silver balls.
You need KYC on Marketplace.
Which, once again, you can't cash out in the parlor. You have to go to a third-party vendor.
換金所が別にあるからそれはなんで別にあるんですかまあそこでお金のやり取りしたら犯罪なんで犯罪ってかギャンブルになっちゃうんで景品をもらうって体で景品をもらってそれを近くの換金所でお金に変えてるからセーフっていう認識です一応網目をくぐってるみたいなグレーって言ってました
All reminiscent of exactly what Valve does too. You can't cash it out in the Steam store. You can only cash it out on third-party sites. It's just gambling with extra steps. However, one player of the game explained to me that even this is a pretty weak excuse.
Has anyone explained to you the Steam decks? So this right here is the maxed out version. I think it's like 600.
Why he got his own bit? Chat, what is he talking about? This is dude, what is he gonna say? I don't even know.
50 spent in Steam funds.
Ah, I get it. Because Steam balance equals to this, like real money. Ah, okay.
Now, how do you get Steam funds? You can put money on. You can sell stuff on the store. You can unbox a case, get a $1,000 knife, sell it, and then get this.
Why is this so funny to me, bro? I swear to God. Because it's like a gacha moment, but it's like coffeezillas from a different planet, you know? Like we nerd out about skins, about CS, we know this stuff, and for him it's like Arrow's like, and the banana is round, and he goes, you know, like, bro, I swear.
And then get this.
Oh my God.
So items don't have value. How do I buy this?
Yeah, he makes a good point. I think it's pointless to argue too long against these loopholes, though, because there's millions of arguments, some used by Valve, other used by Counter-Strike casinos, for why gambling isn't gambling. You have Clash's sweepstakes loophole, HypeDrop's you never lose money loophole, you have CSGO Roll saying you can only cash out skins. Everyone in this story, from casinos to Valve, is using legal loopholes. So instead of trying to legal eagle all of them, I'm just appealing to your common sense. If it looks like gambling, mimics gambling, and the players say it's gambling, it's gambling. Now that we understand this, let's take a look at one of Valve's strangest positions they've ever had to take.
True. Am I crazy when I say, like, I still think there's a big difference between those sites and, like, something like opening cases? Cases, you can only spend so much. Cases as well, the price isn't made by the site. Like, 90% you get back and then you get hooked in. No. People know that they get fucked. You get 60% back because the community makes the price. No daily reward, no level system, no fucking chat like, hey, join my battle here. No, I don't know. Like, then, like... Isn't then as well like Pokemon cards, zack, and you can sell them on the marketplace? Sure, but of course, the slot animation and stuff, I would be as much into skins, and you're gonna say cap, but this is true. I am intrigued by skins, of the collecting factor and everything like that. I would still be as invested in skins and all into it if it wasn't a slot animation or whatever. Yeah, you say Kappa, of course. Yes, I need the slot animation, guys. I need the edging. No, I as well fucking would open it if it was a Hearthstone pack. It's still gambling though, yes, but you know, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going. I didn't sleep. Am I making sense right now?
See, back in 2016, when gambling sites hit mainstream news for scamming a bunch of their users and underage gambling, Valve looked really bad and said they were going to put a stop to Steam users who run a gambling business. To do this, they sent out several cease and desist letters, and some of those sites ceased, but others didn't. 8 years later, some of the same casino sites are still operating. Meanwhile, influencers are clearly still getting paid millions of dollars. Esports teams are still sponsored by many of these gambling businesses that Valve supposedly wants to shut down. This is where we come to a question. Why does Valve say they want to shut down gambling, but they fail to actually do it? Some will say they can't. Like, these offshore casinos are literally impossible to stop, but I don't buy that. This is the same company who will happily destroy parents in court who sue them for pushing gambling. Where's Valve's legal appetite to go after these offshore casinos? I don't know. It seems to...
Chat, I actually don't know. Because, like, the argument is gonna be, yeah, because they make so much of people gambling on those sites too, and they buy skins, and I don't think they would lose out on so much money if they shut down those casinos. I don't think so. Am I crazy if I think that they may just be lazy?
To me, they could have banned this all a long time ago using any number of IP arguments, legal attacks, or simply software patches.
And they don't want to put in the work and like to make less as well. Like as well, they don't maybe care about the moral stuff.
Why they haven't is where we have to get into speculation. I have two thoughts as to why. Firstly, I believe it's good for Valve to be in an eternal fight against gambling. It's good optics. If you never defeat the evil offshore casinos, no one has to wonder why your loot boxes look so much like slot machines. We got to defeat the evil offshore casino guys first, guys. In fact, this is the exact attitude they had in 2016.
It feels like Valve itself has specifically designed this game to operate almost exactly like a slot machine.
Even back then, Valve got a lot of heat for exactly the same things we're talking about now, but everyone felt that the casinos were doing worse things. So before we demanded change from Valve, everyone felt that we should address the casino problem first. And Valve was happy to play the hero and send those cease and desist letters out. So if you can always pass the buck to someone more shady than you and say you're working on it, it's easy to avoid problems at home. That's my first guess. But there's a second, maybe more insidious answer. Shutting down offshore gambling is just not a priority because it's not very profitable. It may even cost Valve money, even though they probably would deny this and say they don't have the data. You see, Valve may profit from these casinos indirectly. That is according to the journalist at People Makes Games. They made this argument better than I ever could, and I'm going to use a portion of their great documentary here.
We've got Steam over here and the betting sites over here on different websites, and both industries claim no relationship with the other. But to start with, the culture of skin betting is for many people a feature of Valve's games as advertised by YouTubers and streamers and virally by your friends who are gambling. Valve is going to be acquiring more visibility and players for its games from anyone who finds this extra functionality appealing. A thought I heard from almost all of the gamblers I spoke to was that Valve can't shut down these casinos permanently because that would wreck the market value of skins, thereby hurting every player.
Wait, by who did he hit?
Permanently because that would wreck. All of the gamblers I spoke to was that Valve can't shut down these casinos permanently because that would wreck the market value of skins, thereby hurting.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Or I don't think so. When we look at people buying skins and stuff, and like, I feel like most, not just number wise, but also value wise, is not gamblers. Guys, no shot.
Every player who owns any Valve skins. But to me, that.
Of course it would tank, but not, I don't think a lot. Low IQ. Most of them are gamblers. 100%. This guy is waffling, okay?
That just sounds like evidence that one big reason Valve skins are so valuable and why people want them so bad is Valve allowing the betting sites to exist.
Look, I'll be honest, I think he's right. Valve is indirectly profiting from these casinos, but it's not just one journalist's opinion. Even experts have concluded the same thing.
So, in January of 2016, the Washington State Gambling Commission, and that's the top regulatory body in Washington State where Valve is headquartered, they received a complaint that prompted them to begin an investigation into Valve Corporation. 21 months later, when that investigation concluded, what they said was Valve, quote, knowingly facilitates the illegal wagering of skins, end quote. And the question, that it really came down to for these regulators was, is Valve benefiting? In the opinion of the regulators, yes.
So this feels like a really big deal. Washington basically concluded what a lot of people have suspected, but why did nothing happen?
What the regulators told me is that the prosecutors didn't feel that they would be able to prosecute the case successfully, so they did not pursue a case.
King County eventually declined the case, the main reason being that Valve is not directly profiting from the illegal wagering sites.
Able to prosecute
not directly,
the case
but
successfully.
For sure, indirectly, of course.
So they did not pursue a case. Now, that doesn't take away from the findings of the regulators, who are the experts on this. It just means that a case was never taken to court.
Huh. So even though regulators found one thing, prosecutors...
Wait! One thing I just realized that I think nobody thinks about when it comes to the argument, when it comes to the discussion, would skins plummet hardcore if those sites got shut down? Wouldn't as well a lot of people that open stuff on those other sites then open in CS? And then if you on a site open something, it doesn't get created, but in the in CS, a lot more supply with skins and stuff. I didn't even think about that. I don't know if it would be a big no brain ... All right. Oh, Bruder. Yeah, guys, I didn't sleep, but I don't know. For me, it was a aha moment. Maybe not.
Have declined to pursue it. Now, of course,
sorry.
I did think all of this was pretty shocking, so of course I wanted to ask Valve follow-up questions, but they didn't respond to my request for an interview or for comment. However, I did find interviews from about 8 years.
But that would mean Valve would make more money if they shut it down. Dude, I still I just think they just can't be bothered and are lazy. I don't know. and they think in their analysis, they see that they would make less money if they go ahead.
Years ago during the first scandal, where Valve was asked very similar questions about whether they benefited from all this gambling. And the way they respond is kind of telling.
For Counter-Strike in particular, I'm curious, you feel like gambling has had a positive impact on the game at all?
I haven't seen these! Where's he getting this stuff from? I'm pissed. I'm pissed at my mods, at my chat, at the people that are close to me. Every time we have a sliver, a tidbit of information coming from the source, I go crazy. Why have I not seen this yet? I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, but no. I'm mad at myself too. How did I know? This guy, I know this guy. This guy is at Valve. This guy's at Valve. I follow him. This guy, this face, a profile picture on Twitter. This is the source. This is the source. 9. Wow. Wow. I don't know whose problem this is. How have I not seen this? Guys, we got some digging up to do. We got some stuff to watch. Oh, man. You're doing God's work. Gabe interview, CSGO devs interview. I'll watch it. Oh, my fucking... How have I not seen... Have I seen this? Maybe I just have dementia.
Grown interest in the game over the past few years that it's been available.
Oh! No way.
You feel like gambling.
And the way they respond is kind of telling.
For Counter-Strike in particular, I'm curious, you feel like gambling has had a positive impact on the game at all? As you feel like it's grown interest in the game over the past few years that it's been available?
Yeah. So I mean, well, what's the question?
Has gambling led to greater interest in Counter-Strike?
Has it?
Yes.
We don't know. We don't have any data to support that.
Yeah, but
yeah. So I don't know.
Isn't that incredible?
Wow.
A company that nearly has all the data has no idea if $1 billion gambling industry helps them. This is a company that hires literal economists to work on their video game economies. They say in those job descriptions, one thing we have at Valve is data, lots and lots of data. Yet on this one issue,
Chad, who is he again? It's Valve. If I remember following him because he reposted something with CS2 or whatever. He's popular, no? He's one of the big ones, like known Valve guys. Ido Magal. Wait, I quickly have to check. Dude, this is so new to me. Yeah. Lol, he follows 0 people. Damn, bro. Crazy, bro.
We don't have any data to support that.
and we're supposed to believe they've never conclusively found if gambling hurts or helps them? I find it hard to believe. Especially when, in the same interview a little bit later, the CEO, Gabe Newell, claims data isn't really hard to get in Valve.
Right. If there's something I need to know,
Guys, okay, listen. I understand that we haven't watched this yet, if this is not about CS mainly. But how have we not watched this? How? This is the first time I see this frame. First time ever. I've not watched this yet. Ain't no fuck. This is, to me, guys, this is I don't know what to compare this with. This is, to me, like Christmas. Right here. New video material of it. Bruder.
I can find out about it.
We don't have any data.
And information is pretty freely available inside of the company. There's, it's just not hard to, if there's something you need to know, to find out about it. But there's no, you pull your information, there's no push towards you.
Right. Of course it's not hard to find the information. These are the people who own Steam. They have all the information. So here's a fun rule for you to think about.
All right. Hey. Easy for Ali, we can talk about this. Why do you want me to open a case? And why do you think that I'm the hotspot for where you can type something like this and expect a reaction of me actually doing it? Nay. Chat, also 2025, I'll work on myself. Because why the fuck is he typing? No. When was the last time I did an actual case opening, bro? You are very lucky. Scheiße. Yo, nah, okay, scheiße. Bro, why did I get the soundboard? Bro, no. I actually feel weird right now. I actually feel weird because right now, because as well, what I do, of course, there's as well people seeing a clip of me opening a knife and then they think, oh, maybe I will open knife too. Ali, this is clips from thousands of cases. Don't open cases. If you want a skin, you buy the skin directly, but don't think it's a way of Why does he? Bruder, scheiße. Nee, I actually feel weird right now. Maybe he knows something you don't. What?
Anytime a company
don't open cases, Ali. I swear.
This much data tells you we don't have the data. It means we don't like what the data says, or we don't want to know what the data says, so we've avoided looking. And by the way, Valve admits only moments later that the Counter-Strike player base goes up when Valve releases things that make the game, quote, a stickier experience.
That growth in the player base typically comes either after the game has been on sale, or after we've added some features to the game that make the game a stickier experience.
Okay.
Stickier? But chat, do they talk concretely about CS in this interview? Or is it always generalized across Valve? Like every franchise, like everything. Dude, I'm so horny for that interview right now. Ain't no way. They are all CSGO devs. Shut your mouth. CS2 dev team. Open a case. Yo, is it? Ido, is it you? Ido? No shot. Chat, it could be. I swear sometimes messages like this is like actually like it looks ludicrous right now, but it could be. Are you Valve? Oh my. Maybe they're sitting in the office right now. Scheiße, bro. Yo! Don't do this, bro. Don't do this. Don't do this. Oh my god. Chad, one day I just have to go Valve office, and just, visit. Do you think they would let me in? I would touch everything. I would touch everything.
We're getting somewhere. Growth happens when Valve makes their game a stickier experience. Now, I've got a follow-up. What's a stickier experience than a casino? It's so sticky, people have a problem stopping. You can't honestly say our player base growth.
Okay, stop, chat, stop. Aber una case. Yo, sorry, Scheiße. Bro, I'm too fried for a serious video right now. I'm still like New Year's. Ugh,
the stickier experience. And also, we have no data that gambling has grown interest in Counter-Strike because those two sentences are not compatible. And oh, by the way, we've been fighting gambling for 8 years and we keep getting outsmarted by 20-something-year-olds in Curacao? Like, you're just not trying that hard then. But we've even got more evidence for their lack of effort here because Valve will occasionally take action on casinos, most often when they've been pressured to do so by bad press. Just take the PGL Majors, which started this whole thing. It was a horrible look for Valve, directly caused by the casinos. The result of that was almost immediately an update released only days later that for the first time in a while actually did something. Basically, Valve made it so that when you traded something in Counter-Strike, it was hard to then gamble that item. Basically, they changed a way that items showed up in your inventory. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but it kind of messed up the way casinos were tracking items. Now, the end result of this is that casinos, along with skin traders in general, are slightly punished. Now, my point here is this patch could have been done at any time.
I remember everyone was so mad about the update because when he does inventory reviews, like he doesn't see like the newest skins that somebody got, you know? It's kind of true. I didn't realize. Bro, when we were checking pro player inventories, we couldn't see what they bought. He still is. It is pretty annoying, true. You were too. I think I didn't even realize. Chat. They intervened after this went viral of like this fiasco at the major. Will this change something, and what would it even be? The last time H3 made a video like this, which went super viral, right? Everyone had their eyes on it at the whole topic. They did trade hold and they sent out cease and desists, right? Valve won't do anything. Maybe a wave of cease and desists again? I don't know.
Time. The reason it happened a few days after the PGL Major was this disruption. This was a clear signal from Valve to the casinos. You stepped out of line, you caused trouble, we'll cause you trouble, right? I should note, the casinos are going to find workarounds to this, but there aren't infinite workarounds. It's obvious to everyone, including the casinos, that if Valve really wanted to shut them down, they could, since Valve ultimately controls the ecosystem by which everyone trades and tracks items. So if they wanted to definitively shut down the casinos, they could, but it just...
Yo, chat, you have to stop. Bro, I'm in a funny mood, right? Open a capsule, it's not gambling, cause no key. Please stop, please. Bro, I'm like, this is not a good look, bro. Like, bro, I'm right now in a jokey mood. You can't, like, this is not the time to joke. Oh, Bruder.
Is going to require work. Work that Valve doesn't seem to have a huge appetite to do. Maybe because it would impact other players. Maybe because they just historically haven't done that work unless they're forced to by press, governments, or the casinos themselves to do so. Now look, it might feel like I'm being a little harsh towards Valve here, or I'm putting a lot of the responsibility on them. And if it feels that way, it's because...
I have a question. Out of all the popular games, which model of like selling cosmetics is the worst? It is CS, or it is straight up like a slot. FIFA. How is FIFA worse? No shot. They don't tease you with like a red next to the blue. Or FIFA, you can't sell. I mean, I think that's an argument for that it's not as bad as CS, or because it doesn't have the aspect of, oh yeah, I just unboxed something, I just doubled my money. Right? That makes it like not as bad, I think. Valorant, they have in-game store, and of course, as well, no monetary value connected. You have to sell account and stuff. It's like, it's completely far-fetched. Fortnite as well clean. League now they play around with gacha. No, I've seen now they have, don't they have but just now. Let me see, I want to see it. I haven't even looked at it. League of Legends gacha. This is new, no? Yeah. I want to see opening. Which one? Ah, wait, they did have the cases, but it's not really the same, is it? But they have full out, wait, what is it called? Like Ashes skin or something? Ah, it's not the same. No. That's not like CS. Interesting. Age of Empires. What are you talking about? Why are you typing question mark? Bro, I feel like I'm not making sense right now. Guys, I didn't sleep enough. Please understand I didn't sleep enough. When it comes to popular titles, CS, when it comes to the way of distributing cosmetics, is the worst, no? By far, no? It's the most gambly, the most slotty, no? And don't say FIFA. FIFA has so far fetched monetary value you can't, like, PUBG. I don't even know how you get something in PUBG. And also you can't trade PUBG skins. There's no marketplaces. I remember I got hella mad because I had some rare PUBG skins and then all of a sudden they didn't allow it because of those casinos that started.
Because I do think they need to be the ones to change for two reasons. One, no matter where you look in the chain.
Jed, you can sell PUBG on the Steam market, but you can't trade PUBG skins. Correct or wrong? Correct or wrong? They did that purely against those casinos and stuff. Yeah. And then every skin plummeted.
Of responsibility from influencers all the way to governments, everything points to them. Valve is easily the most equipped to solve things because they are a single stakeholder. Everywhere else you look, there's coordination problems. At the influencer level, if you don't take Gamba money, other influencers will. At the casino level, you want to be more regulated, your competitor doesn't. Even at the esports level, you don't take a gambling sponsorship, your competitor will. Even at the government level, if one country bans it, just take a VPN somewhere else where it's not banned. Not to mention, even when governments do ban it, and by the way, I think they should be part of the solution, but even when they do ban it, Valve can try to maliciously avoid regulation with new loopholes, which is not a hypothetical. They've literally done this. In France, for instance, where loot boxes that can be traded for money are banned, Valve updated their game just in France to put in what they call an X-ray scanner, where you can see the contents of your loot box before you open it, making the results technically not random. The catch is, though, you can't open another loot box until you pay to finish opening the one you've scanned. It's just a workaround the law to allow the same gambling, just legally, I guess. But it turns out this may have been a tactical mistake because it kind of gave away the game Valve is playing. Because remember, they're trying to pretend not to be gambling, but this loophole they're using is literally a loophole slot machine companies use, where they will do what's called pre-reveal the result of a slot spin before you spin and say it's not gambling as well. In states like Missouri in America, this is how gambling companies were trying to avoid the gambling classification. Funnily enough, while learning about this loophole, I found this. Quote, the gambling companies don't like each other and will claim one company is breaking the rules while they apparently follow them. I'm getting flashbacks to this story as well. But the point is, if Valve is resorting to using gambling companies' loopholes, from the Pachinko parlor loophole to the pre-spin loophole, what does that say about what they're selling? Even Valve's own users are realizing this. In a post about the French law where they dodged it with this pre-reveal, people are saying, quote, they seriously skirted the laws that stupidly easily. Sounds like Valve is using loopholes taken straight from casinos. So that's why I'm saying, yes, countries should regulate predatory loot boxes designed as slot machines. Yes, influencers shouldn't take dirty deals. Yes, casinos should in theory self-regulate. But if we're looking where to lay out a plan to fix Valve's underage gambling problem, it all comes back to Valve. No one else can unilaterally shut this down
Chat, call me crazy. Oh, shut up, Bruder. Like, maybe this is not the right topic to discuss while you're fried, but don't countries and governments as well on a big scale profit, or like it's good for them if gambling isn't a thing in their country? Because the only thing that happens when people get addicted to like slot machines and stuff takes money from your people and it gets put to some like rich guy and it gets like distributed to a corner, no? And often even like people who don't even operate in the same like if we're talking full big picture, like it would be smart as well from a countryside to do it, no? And you're not gonna have people that are like, I'm gonna move countries because no gambling in my country. Like the people who are already like sucked in, they will find a way, but at least new people don't have this easy way of getting in, right? Taxes? How does that make sense? But no. What? I think what I'm saying makes sense. In the Netherlands, it's super strict as well. Gambling is taxed. The Netherlands owns the casino. Oh. Wait, that's how the Netherlands does it? No way. Gambling is not taxed in Canada. Huh. Dude, I feel like I would be I feel like I'm right now ahead of the politicians. I swear it's good for the für das Volk, for the people in the country, if no gambling is there. You understand? Oh, man.
Except for them. And at the same time, no one stands to make so much money from keeping it open and lying about what exactly these cases are, using the same arguments casinos have been making for decades as Valve. And that's why I'm being so harsh, because frankly, they deserve it. This isn't some indie video game studio that's struggling to survive. Valve is pound for pound one of the most profitable companies in the world, period. Not just because of gambling, in spite of it. With just Steam, they're already larger than most publicly traded gaming companies, affecting millions of people a day without gambling. So it isn't crazy to expect basic responsibility from a company who touches so many lives. Unfortunately, Valve is not only uniquely able to take action, they're also uniquely equipped to avoid it. They're privately...
Chat, you know what's gonna be interesting? All the big Valve titles, right? You have this mechanic of a slot machine type cosmetic, right? In TF2, you bust open a case. In CS, in Dota, it's as well, right? What are they gonna do with Deadlock? Is it gonna be the first time where they like... For sure, it's gonna be something like that again, right? If they know it's the moneymaker, like, why not put it into Deadlock too? What's Deadlock? It's Valve's next game. Deadlock is dead? What do you mean? It's not even out. You think it will flop?
Owned an international company and are known for not responding to journalists in situations like this or reacting to the press in any way. So for my last argument, I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to let Daddy Gabe do the talking in the hopes of inspiring some change at this megacorp. Here's Gabe's thoughts on Valve and their responsibility.
Oh, people at Valve have to get used to working without a safety net. Yeah. There's nothing between you and a customer. You can do something. You can come in that morning, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you have a million customers, right? And
they're all emailing you.
They're all me emailing you. And you probably should fix it, right? But nobody's looking over your shoulder. And for some people, that's liberating. For some people, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I really can't think of anything that better captures the Valve gambling story. You've screwed 1 million customers. You should probably fix it.
Guys, completely side...
Valve gambling story. You've screwed 1 million customers.
Probably shouldn't say it, but this guy looks like Janko. I said it. Bruder, he looks like the analyst.
Customers, you should probably...
For a second, I thought it was him, and he was like, they are like, oh, Bruder, scheiße.
Fix it, but no one's looking over your shoulder. It has been 8 years since Valve set out to end these black market casinos built around their game. And still, the industry is alive and well. In fact, the harassment and threats in that industry are worse than ever. Meanwhile, Counter-Strike's own competitive players influencers, and casinos all say there's an underage gambling problem, but Valve seems no closer to fixing that either. Maybe that's because the only way to fix it is to acknowledge that Counter-Strike's loot boxes are a little too close to slot machines. And look, I'm not even saying that if they want to go that route, they can't. But at least ID your customers, at least acknowledge what it actually is. Otherwise, you're just trying to have your cake and eat it too. You want gambling without any of the responsibility that comes with it. And we all know that that kind of cake is a lie. Look, I know this is a long shot, and maybe it's pointless. I look back 8 years and I see many of the same stories of victims, villains, and Valve with zero real change.
Oh my god. Why does he keep showing Sparkles as thumbnails? He didn't... Oh man, I wish he interviewed Sparkles too. Have I ever asked Sparkles about, like, I think I have. It was long time ago,
victims, villains, and Valve with zero real change. But knowing the odds are slim hasn't stopped kids from getting addicted. So it's not going to stop me either. This is a gamble I'm willing to take.
Valve did not reply for comments on this story. Yeah. 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 Interesting series. Highly anticipated. Of course, for me, for many reasons. Sadly, wasn't a part of it. He did reach out to me, but it was during my burnout time. I said yes, and then we never made an appointment, or like I fucked up. Would have loved to be in it. Thoughts? Full honesty, I think it's... for me, it was exciting to hear from the people who take the sponsors, because I've never really heard from someone like Juicy, from someone like Grim. Didn't even know of some. And I think that was interesting to hear their side. First part was interesting. Other parts, I feel like we knew most of it already, but it's good for people on the more, like, for people that are not so much into CS. It's very insightful, I think. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Clap it up. Clap it up for coffee. Yo, this chat is so... Yo, chat, I swear, this is... Come on, bro. Like, what are you doing, bro? Bro, I'm not gonna open a... Bro, what the fuck? And, bro, I zoomed out like I'm not gonna open... Oh, Bruder, why do I have skins on the back? This is... Oh, Bruder. Ach, scheiße. Ach, Bruder.